and I'm saying this on the podcast, so I'm going to have to do it.
Clip this.
Is jumping out of a plane. I've got no, I don't know when I'm going to do it. Probably going to go to Dubai and do it from there, I think. We're actually going, or hopefully it's not
this November.
Yes, it's not confirmed yet, but if you see someone back end of November, December, and you see me, or if you don't hear from me again,
he's gone.
Because there is a weight category limit on it, and I'm like 110 kilos at the minute, which is, I think, it's 17.5 stone, which is the lightest I've been in years, but I think it is 14, 15 stone. So if I can't do it, what a shame.
How convenient. Right, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Chatzzz. I need to check what episode number it is because I've completely forgotten on my phone. So that is episode. So this is going to be episode number 22. Episode 22 of the guest.
22.
Yeah. So we've got a very special guest today. We've got Ben Crawshaw. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, cheers, Adam. Appreciate it.
So it's taken a couple of months to get you on, hasn't it?
It has, mate. Been a bit busy.
Yeah. But everyone's busy, aren't they? So I think I messaged you, was it the weekend, Sunday, something? I was like, let's do it this week or next week.
Yeah.
They were like, tomorrow or Thursday, so here we are.
Shot while it was there.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, you've got your own podcast before, so you're kind of familiar with the podcast scene. And I've walked you through the flow. And we've got another special guest. Can you introduce her?
This is Poppy. She's a little princess of the HQ. So this is Coach Poppy.
Very nice. So what we'll do to start off with is, say if you were meeting somebody new or meeting the viewers in this or listeners, how would you introduce yourself to somebody new?
And if they're asking me who what I do?
Just anything,
I'm
say
Crawshaw. I'm a transformation coach. I help people go from limited to limitless around nutrition, training, environment, mindset, lifestyle. Yeah, transformation coach.
Nice. You've definitely said that before, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely. It's on my logo, actually.
And then the next thing that I've put you on the spot with, just as we said, normally I prep people.
Yeah, I thought I was waiting for something to be fair. And I was like, oh, no.
But they never do prep themselves. But I feel like you would have prepped yourself. So right, let's just go 3 facts about yourself.
I absolutely love chocolate. I eat it every single day. I'm scared of heights. Third one, fact, born in Bradford.
Oh, nice. So the first one then, love chocolate. So when did you first find your love of chocolate then?
It's been forever, but I think the biggest realisation was when I did my first prep for a bodybuilding show, and obviously that was no longer I couldn't eat it every single day. And then when I had to cut that out, that was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And then as a result, off the back of that, I kind of ended up getting a bit of an eating disorder with binging afterwards, and then trying to control that constantly. That's probably a bit of a challenge that I've had and I've learned and trying to work through on a daily basis, really.
And what's your go-to chocolate bar?
If I'm honest, I don't have one, anything. But to be fair, my favourite, my missus will know this because she goes shopping and she always come back and it's one of the, is it I forgot what you call them now. But it's got the candy in it, the popping candy one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I can't remember what it's called now.
I'm not a big chocolate. I prefer sweets to chocolate, you see. Yeah. Like squashies and stuff like that, yeah. All right. So then the second one was you scared of heights.
Yes.
Oh, I wouldn't say I like heights, but...
Which is funny, I can go up a scaffolding.
Yeah.
I used to work on building sites.
Okay.
So I can go up a scaffolding, no problem. But then if it comes to like going near the edges of them, I'm scared of heights. I got a bungee jump onto my birthday, and this was years ago. Yeah, and I didn't use it. But for me now, going through this journey that I'm through now, it's all about like my ethos is like become limitless. It's on the logo behind us. So going from limited to limitless. So what I'm mission now is to face my challenges or my fears as such. So I'm not limited by them. So last weekend actually, I went through a plane. So again,
I saw that on Instagram.
So I went through a private plane, so did a flying lesson, and it was petrifying to start with, and then 90 minutes in, we were flying the plane by ourselves, and that's one bucket list ticked off. The next one, and I'm saying this on the podcast, so I'm going to have to do it.
Clip this.
Is jumping out of a plane. I've got I don't know when I'm going to do it. Probably going to go to Dubai and do it from there, I think. We're actually going, or hopefully it's not
this November.
Yes, it's not confirmed yet, but if you see someone back end of November, December, and you see me, or if you don't hear from me again,
he's gone.
Because there is a weight category limit on it, and I'm like 110 kilos at the minute, which is I think it's 17.5 stone, which is the lightest I've been in years. But I think it is 14, 15 stone. So if I can't do it, what a shame.
How convenient. And then the third one, born in Bradford. So your parents?
Yeah, born in Yorkshire born and bred. We moved up here when I was about 9. First moved to Langworthby, if anybody knows where that is. Obviously we're in the Lake District, so just near Penrith. Moved there, and then we moved to Stainton when I was about 11. And then I moved to Carlisle, where my training facility is right now, about 2 years ago.
Oh, nice. So what was it like then, moving up from Bradford to Cumbria at the age of like 9ish, would you say?
For me, it was quite difficult, if I'm honest. I came back with a funny accent. I came up with a funny accent compared to everybody. I didn't fit in. Yeah, it was a really tough time, and then it kind of followed me all through my childhood and my adulthood, to be honest, up until now, why I've kind of created this and why I've got the ethos that I have with it. I was always trying to fit into the wrong crowds because I never fitted into a crowd. Like there's a lot of people, you maybe know yourself from if you're where people live local, you've got a local friend, like a group friendship that you grow up with, and you know everybody. Well, I never had that, so it was trying to fit in, and I just didn't fit in anywhere. So then, as I grew up, getting a bit older, I fitted into the wrong crowds, which anybody could fit into if you're a little shit, basically, and do the things that they're doing. And it kind of led me down a path that I'm thankful it did, because it's made me the person I am today. But that's kind of it, really.
Yeah, I suppose it's difficult when you're younger, isn't it? Because like you just want to fit into a group or a club or support a team, and you want to be part of something, don't you?
Yes.
And if you don't, you could feel a bit lost, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
So when you were, say, younger, then were you into the educational side of school, or did you have any like hobbies?
Before we moved up, I'd come with my best friend Chris, and it was. I remember when we were leaving. Yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. It was quite emotional. I can remember that to this day still. I think I actually was round at his house. I wouldn't leave when my mum and dad were moving up, and they had to pull me out of the house. And then I was top sets of everything at school: rugby, football. Really, really good at reading and maths and numeracy and grammar and things like that. And then again, as we moved, I didn't ever excel at any of them ever again. Sports, I was okay, but back at school, I just wasn't. And as a result, kind of struggled with school because of it.
Yeah. Why do you think that was then?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
No idea. I think just because I was fitting, well, I do, I suppose. I was fitting into the wrong crowd, which wasn't about education. It's about not being at school. Or if I didn't, when I was younger, it wasn't fitting in. So then I always felt left out. And I just wasn't in the same sets. So then I think it pushed me back a little bit more. And then because I didn't have the confidence, it just kind of spiraled from there, really.
Would you say you weren't a very confident person when you were growing up then?
Definitely not, absolutely not. No.
That's interesting, because quite a lot of people that I've spoken to on the podcast would say that they weren't a very confident person when they were growing up, and maybe like a bit introverted and stuff like that, and they've really flourished when they've came out the educational system, because like I feel like school and education, you're very funneled, aren't you, to be that one type of person, whereas if you want to do something for yourself or do something slightly different, it's not really like praised, or you're not really pushed to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, no, that's cool. So then obviously you moved up then when you were 9 or so, and then you went to, did you kind of progress through secondary school the same, or did you?
To be honest, from secondary school, again, fitting into the wrong crowd.
Yeah.
And it went me down.
Seems like a common theme.
Went down the kind of a path of not really being at school, if I'm completely honest. Just skiving school.
Yeah.
Sit on the podcast, smoking weed. That was a big thing back when I was at school. And that kind of consumed my life while I was at school, unfortunately, at secondary school. And as a result, I didn't want to go to education. And as a result, I didn't get an education.
Yeah. Did you finish at 16 then?
16, finished. I just wanted to work.
Yeah.
I've always been a hard worker, so I got a job when I was 13, I think it was, washing dishes.
Oh, cool.
I just love working. I just love working hard, because for me, as a result of not really implementing at school, I'm not the brightest. Yeah. But no one will outwork me.
Yeah.
And that's followed. And I know for me to get anywhere and be successful, I've got to put the extra hours in, put the extra work in. And so as soon as I left school, I realised what a mistake I'd made, as I kind of moved away from that peer group, and then went to college. At college, I studied to be a plumber. Okay. So qualified as a plumber. And then it was at the recession at the time, and I wasn't able to, just could not get any work. Yeah. So I wasted about 3 years at college doing that, unfortunately, which was pretty gutting, to be fair. Yeah. And then, fortunate enough, one of my friends at the time had a plastering business. So I went and jumped in and worked with him for a couple of years. Qualified I didn't qualify, but I did on-site experience. So it was good plastering, tiling. And then I kind of was going through a bit of a situation with my girlfriend at the time. and got my own house, got my own van, rented house, and then from there created my own business. BC, what was it called? BC Fitness Services. So plumbing, plastering and tiling. But again, it was kind of at a wrong time of the year. It was Christmas. I just bought this van, moved into this new house, spent all my money with no money incoming.
Yeah.
So I was forced to go and work on the railway for a company, a local company, and that was pretty challenging. But I learned a lot from those guys there. I thought I worked hard. Them guys were on a different level. So the work ethic I've kind of brought from what I already knew with working with guys like that, again, is why this is here today, to be honest.
Where do you think you got that work ethic from then? Was it instilled by your parents, or was it just something you just...
I don't know, because it wasn't there at school. So I don't know. I think it was when you want something, you work hard for it, don't you?
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to be at school, so I didn't work hard.
Yeah.
When I left, and then you went to college, and it was something that I actually did interested in and I wanted to be good at, I worked extra hard to do it.
Yeah.
I went and did my own, obviously when you're an apprentice or you're learning your apprenticeships, like I was going out doing my own work on top of that, doing my extra learning. So it's when you find something that you want to do, it's different, isn't it? It becomes easier because you're driven towards doing it.
Look forward to waking up every day and starting the day and that kind of thing. So obviously you said you went to college, going to plumbing. What made you want to do that?
I think it's when you told about, it was a case of, I suppose my dad knew a couple of plumbers who were on good money. 30, 40, 50 grand a year. There was plenty of companies at the time. I did have a couple of opportunities maybe to work with these guys. But again, at the time, work dried up, so that wasn't there. And that's kind of how I kind of fell into it. Yeah. To be fair.
It's still good that you say went from job to job. There isn't like your work ethic. Some people may have just quit and just said, no, I'm dull or something like that. But so then
For me, work is purpose. Without purpose, I would end up going down the wrong path.
Yeah, definitely. And I can kind of relate to that. Even when we were in lockdown and stuff, I had to restart my business because I had a business partner, and then started with like no clients again. And I was waking up thinking, what am I doing? You know what I mean? That's what I mean. You lack purpose, but if you've got like an end goal, you'll still do that and do the little things every single day, and you just trust the process, don't you? You'll know in yourself, you trust yourself that you get there in the end. You may not be where you want to be now, but further down the line, then you just you'll get there. But you just got to trust yourself.
The vision takes you there.
Yeah. Everyone else will think you're an idiot as well. They'll be like, what are you on about?
This place, like, I'm 10 years past this already in my head, so we're working towards that.
Because you were saying even to me, weren't you, about this place? You said, I'm going to knock the office down and extend it and stuff like that. And I was like, well, it just sounds great, but I can't really picture it right now. But yeah, cool. So then obviously you said you set up BC Services.
Yes, that was my...
Is that your first business venture?
Company? Yeah, contract company.
Did you always want to had your own business kind of thing, or how did that come about?
Again, just with having the skills and tools and knowledge of all these different trades, it was kind of, let's combine them and go and work for myself. Obviously, instead of working for somebody else and pocketing their money, I was wanting to just be successful.
Okay. So then how different was that transition then from working for somebody else to then going on your own? Because you said you were going through a tough time with your girlfriend and getting a house and all.
The transition, it was pretty straightforward, if I'm honest. Yeah, I had the confidence then. Obviously, I didn't at school, but by now I was training in the gym, and that's where my confidence came. Okay. And then I knew I was good at what I was doing at work. I outwork people at work. Again, I like to work. I like to work hard. I like to see what I'm doing and like to see progression. I like that sense of achievement, and it doesn't mean if it's harder work, it doesn't matter to me as long as I'm getting that sense of achievement. So it was a case of that was the next phase. Yeah,
just the next step on the journey. And you mentioned about going to the gym. When did you find the gym?
I would be 17.
17. All right.
17.
Because I think I started the gym when I was 16. I remember after GCSEs, I went to the gym that summer, and I was like, oh, this is quite cool. So then 17, did like one of your mates go, or was it somebody older? Or
it was one of my friends actually. He kind of took us into the gym with him, and I was like 11 stone. I was a little scrawny boy, and as a result, I used to get bullied at school because of it. And again, that's why the confidence wasn't there. Yeah. And that's why then I kind of pulled away from school into this P group, getting up to no good. And then, like I say, that was kind of where that confidence and that self-improvement and self-development and progression and that mindset shift started changing just from the gym. And again, it was like, I've been doing that now for 16 years. Yeah. It's been a very slow journey, and there's been stages and levels to that. But ultimately it was just to put a little bit of weight on, build a bit of muscle, build some confidence. At the time when you're younger, you think, the chicks are going to love me.
I was literally going to say that. Saying, surely you just went just to get the girls.
But if I'm completely honest, the girls, most people who maybe go to the gym know it's mainly the guys that come up to you and go, mate, you look massive. Look, you got a six pack. How much do you bench? The girls don't give a shit.
The girls don't care how much you can bench.
They literally don't. But again, I never did it for any. Well, I did to start with, I suppose. But as that journey goes through, you just do it for yourself. And if you're not doing it for yourself, you won't be able to do it for 15 years.
Yeah.
That's why some people stop, start. They're not doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, actually, I think. Yeah, because when I was younger, I was really into the gym and I liked doing it and getting like a six-pack and stuff when you went to beef and get photos and stuff. But now, I'm not as bothered about getting lean. It's just like being healthy, going to the gym consistently.
Yeah, it's about a feeling.
Getting the endorphins flowing in the morning and that kind of thing. Because I prefer going in the morning, first thing, wake up, go, and then you've accomplished that of the day and then you can get on with your day.
You're working on yourself before you go to work.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Rather than if I get up and then I'm like, start work and then you're just like, I can't be arsed now when you finish your day at work. And you're like, I have to go to the gym now rather than, I've already done that. But I think that's like a lot of people start going to the gym to get the girls, don't they? And that kind of thing. But then they realise it is a confidence booster because you feel good in yourself and that aura kind of goes off to other people. So do you reckon that was really the turning point of building your confidence?
100%, without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt.
So would you, obviously you would, but how would you recommend people if they're maybe in a bit of a slump right now and they're just not feeling very confident, maybe insecure? How would you?
Well, I'm actually a mental health and exercise coach, so one of the only personal training facilities in the North of Cumbria with that qualification. And the reason for that, again, is like you've just said there, if anybody is struggling with any sort of depression, anything at all, exercise. Obviously, if you pay for a gym membership, you've got to pay for that or personal training. But ultimately, it's free. Whether you go for a walk, you're going for a run, you're lifting some weights in your garden, in the garage, you're releasing like hormones, which is serotonin, adrenaline, all these feel-good hormones that make you feel better. So as a result, then, if you are in a negative place and a bad mindset, this is going to help get you out of it. And as a result, then you make better choices, you become more productive. And as a result, then your life starts to go in the direction that you want it to do. So for me, training should be essential for every fucker on the planet. Absolutely everybody. And it doesn't matter if it's in the gym or not, but movement outside, inside. For most of our guys in here, myself included, we focus less in the gym, more outside in the summer. And then obviously winter time, summer bodies are made in the winter, and we kind of, again, we're making sure we're utilising the gym, but getting outdoors and doing it as much as possible as well.
Yeah, some form of exercise, like you say, is just massive, isn't it?
100%.
And I hate it when people like complain about maybe, obviously there's different circumstances, but if they complain and they're not doing anything about it as well, at least try and do something.
Yeah, as a coach, you've got a little bit thicker skin with that because we see it all the time. Ultimately, again, people are in a different mindset and a different position, and they only have their problems. And their problems are the worst things in the world to them. So,
like everyone, doesn't
it? Yeah, 100%. But like, if you'll see somebody who, I was just watching someone on Instagram the other day, and it was a kid who came off his motorbike, lost his hand, a leg. Like in most people, and I think myself potentially included, I would hope not, but thinking of how that would affect and change your life and how it would change my mindset to be going from being able to do everything to not. And then he's there in the gym deadlifting with this little grip on holding his hand. Like, it's incredible. There's girls I've been watching who've been paralysed and they're there just putting the most effort you can imagine into getting back and walking. Whereas people take that gift for granted.
Yeah, they do.
Which is sad. It really is. And then, like you said there, they whinge about it and moan about it. They're in this position, but yet they go out drinking every weekend, create that negative mindset and environment, and then don't do anything and then whinge because they've put the weight on, and it's all self-inflicted.
Yeah, that's the worst part about it, isn't it?
It is. I know myself, if I go out for a drink, I'm rough till Thursday. So I know it's self-inflicted, but ultimately it's preparing yourself for those measures. Obviously, if you've got a goal, and making sure, obviously, you're still enjoying yourself, but you're still progressing, moving forward and being happy and doing what makes you happy. Yeah,
finding that balance, isn't it, I think. Like you say about the drinking, I stopped drinking like over 2 years ago now. 25 months, I think it is, because in COVID I had to restart my business again. And then the first few months I was back here because I was living in Cardiff before, and I thought, see my mates go out with one of the lads every weekend, and I wasn't getting anywhere from business, so I thought, what's the one thing that's holding me back, and that's going out drinking every weekend and stuff and being hungover to like Wednesday and then doing it all over again. So I made that small sacrifice.
And how did that change your life?
Oh, it's the best thing I ever did.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, and I'd wanted to do 3 months to start off with because I follow like a fitness YouTuber called Mike Thurston.
Yeah.
And he did like 6 months, I think it was, or something. I was like, oh, well, I can try 3 months or something. So it was like August bank holiday 2020 now. And I was like, right, that's it. I'm going to do 3 months, see how I feel. The first month was a bit like rocky because it didn't really feel much benefit because I think it's just maybe my body rebalancing.
Because you think you're missing out on the socialisation and enjoyment.
The peer pressure.
You enjoy it.
Oh, yeah, at the time.
Yeah, at the time. But then the cons outweigh the pros.
But people don't see that though, do they?
They do, they just ignore it.
Yeah.
They completely see it.
Because the amount of people that say now, oh, I wish I could do that. And I say, you can, you just don't drink alcohol.
No, but because their values are in line with drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
Not drinking alcohol.
And they just want
the environment.
They want to conform, yeah.
And it's not even maybe conform, but the environment isn't situated to help them.
Yeah.
If you're going home and your partner or your best mate that you see all the time and they're drinking and you're not, you then either isolate yourself and then get peer pressured into it, or if you don't have that discipline yet to say no to that drink. Like if I go in an environment where my friends are drinking, I still, because I enjoy it. So if I put myself in the situation, I will have a drink. Yeah. So I just don't put myself in the situation. I try not to. Or if I do, I know the outcome.
Yeah. I think that's another thing, isn't it? Like, if, say, you go out drinking on a Saturday and you say, oh, I'm going to do all these jobs and run all these errands on the Sunday.
Oh, what?
And then
I'm going to be sat rough eating chocolate.
And then on the Sunday, you wake up hungover and you're like, oh, fuck's sake, I haven't done this, I haven't done that. You're like, just write off the Sunday, then you'll feel so much better, won't you? But yeah, and then, sorry, going back, and then the first month I didn't really feel, and everyone's like, oh, I'll drink, whatever, blah, blah, blah. The second month, I felt so much more like focused and driven and just making better decisions and that kind of thing. After 3 months, I just thought, oh, I'll just carry on, and I'm here 25 months in, and just like, I don't know when I'll drink again. I don't know if I will. I'm not saying no, but
if you look at all the big business entrepreneurs who are hugely successful, they don't drink alcohol. As soon as they took it out of their life, they can wildly successful.
Yeah, it's just because you're just more on it all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
If I go out, like I say, I'm just coming back around Thursday, so over that week, my nutrition's not the best, my sleep is not great, I'm catching up on my training isn't great, so as a result my mindset's not as good. So in reality, I've wasted 4 days of a week. Yeah, and that's what I don't want to do. And if you do that in 2 weeks in a row, like in 2 weeks I'll have 3 good days. Yeah. Like how are you supposed to create anything or succeed in anything doing that?
You can't.
So for me, I kind of limit it to, because I still do enjoy it, but try and do it every 12 weeks.
Yeah, I think moderation is sound, isn't it?
But if I'm honest, I'm on the verge of what you've done.
Yeah.
But I won't just do, like, it'll be that. If I do it, that'll be it.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of pressure. I'm not at that stage yet.
Yeah, but I don't, like you say, if you know the consequence, not like consequences, but you know what I mean.
Well, it is the consequence of drinking. The cons outweigh the pros now.
Yeah.
Which is, I suppose it is what it is. Again,
I think you should do it anyway.
In line, it depends where your goals are.
Yeah.
I can still enjoy myself without it.
I can as well, and the thing that gets me is the sleep. So say if I go out until like, I don't know, 2, 3 in the morning or whatever, and you're just knackered the next day. Yeah. You're thinking, bloody hell, because I still wake up at like similar time. I'm like, oh, I'm literally just fucking dead, and my sleeping pattern's off and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't realise as much as how important sleep is as well. Yeah. And if you get a good night's sleep, and for me, consistently go to bed at like around about the same time, wake up around about the same time, and then you're in that routine. And if you're in a daily routine going through the motions, just doing those like meaningless tasks every single day, then that's what's like the compounding effect, isn't it, really?
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, a bit of a tangent there, but so
down the rabbit hole.
With the gym then, so how did that kind of go side by side with work and then with your own business? So as I was working on the railway, I was really unhappy with work because I was away at 2 weeks at a time. That working down in London, so I didn't really have a life. I was working 12 days on, 2 days off. So literally as soon as we came back from London, I was going back down the day after. Is that legal?
No, it wasn't. But again, it helped with the work ethic, to be honest. Yeah. When I was working, fucking 16 hours a day, more some days. So weekends we were double shifting, working 24 hours, which is highly illegal. Yeah. Yeah, but as a result, when we were coming home on the weekend, because we've worked that hard, we were going out drinking, and it was just a horrible circle and rinse and repeat the whole time. And I was still always skint. So I was like, I wanted to go and do something that I loved. I said, I can't do this forever. I could see some of the old boys I was working with and they were knackered, miserable and still skin. So I was like, what is the point of this? So I was like, what do I love doing? And at this stage, I'd been training. I'd been about 24, I think it was. So I'd been training, 7 years. So I was in good shape, decent size, loads of knowledge behind us. And yeah, kind of decided to let's get a bit more knowledge and let's potentially try and get a career out of this and do personal training. So I went and did my personal training course. So I did that while I was working as well. So every weekend that I had off, I went to Leeds to do my personal training course. And then did that. I think that was over a 6-month period for every weekend. And then I was qualified. And then I was going to be going to Sheffield with my girlfriend at the time to live down there and do some personal training. But things didn't kind of work out. That never happened. And then I kind of transitioned into a promotion, into another type of work on the ground as a foreman. And that kind of took a back seat for another couple of years. And then the way it kind of came about, and I never believed in fate until this kind of happened. But I went to Ibiza on a stag do.
What? How is this story started?
I went to Ibiza on a stag.
I did not expect that to be the next sentence.
I was working my way up in this company. I got a foreman. It was good wage, more money I've ever earned, and I've done well for myself just by working hard. And yeah, I went to Ibiza and I was supposed to be coming home and work on the Monday, and there was a 180 grand job I was in charge of. I was starting, and yeah, I missed the flight, didn't come home.
On purpose or just...
No, by accident, completely by accident. And as a result, I lost my job.
Yeah.
So
not bad, really.
Yeah, because obviously they nearly lost the job.
Yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately, at the time it was horrendous for me because I just hit this, what I thought was the pinnacle of my career in there as such, and I thought I was going to be set for life and be able to work my way up that company. But this transitioned in losing that, and then as a result I had to then, like, what can I do? There was no work out there at the time. So I sat on my ass for about 2 or 3 weeks feeling sorry for myself. I was looking for work, and then I was like, you know what, I've got a personal training qualification. So I went to my local gym where I was trained. I was like, is there any chance I can do some coaching? Because I always did it anyway. I always coached people close to me. Yeah. And then it kind of evolved from there. And then I went and I got a full-time job driving, and then I went and got a job in a facility in Carlisle, which was DW at the time. And then I worked from 6 a.m. till 5 o'clock in the evening on a machine or on the grounds, flagging and whatever else. And then drove up to Carlisle and then coached from 5 till 9 o'clock, and then trained from 9 till 10. Drove from Carlisle all the way back to Penrith and rinse and repeat that for about 6 months. Apart from the only day I had off was a Sunday. And obviously I was trying to be a successful bodybuilder at the time as well. So my training was like really intense. So I don't know actually how I managed to do it all, but because I was just that focused on making sure that happened. And then before I knew it, I've managed to get maybe 20 clients on the evenings that were paying me. So as a result, it was kind of covering the same wage as driving a digger. So I made the jump to quit that job. No, I didn't first. I took a Tuesday off because I was self-employed, so I could do that. I took a Tuesday off, and then all of a sudden that was fully booked within a week. So then all of a sudden I could quit my job. So then I quit, and then within the space of 4 weeks, my diary was full, just coaching 60 hours a week. And then from that, I was PTing. That was like 2018 all the way to 2022, 2020, or to lockdown. I was absolutely flat out, getting amazing transformations. Was building like an online business in the background without knowing, because the level of support I give my guys is not just the gym. It was a case of everything on the back end. So we could track their progress, photos, measurements, and then obviously give them all the nutrition education and just holding them super accountable. So that was my service. Without knowing, I was building an online business. It was just me over-delivering. Because I wanted to give them the best result, because I wanted to be known for the go-to guy for results. That's why I'm called the result coach. So then from there, lockdown happened, and it kind of then transitioned into creating an absolutely incredible online coaching business, scaled to 6 figures within the space of 12 months, which is ridiculous, especially sat at home. I couldn't use a laptop. In fact, I didn't have a laptop. I did it on a tablet.
Oh, was it? I thought you were going to say phone there.
No, so it was my phone and a tablet at the time that I used to do all that stuff on, because again, it wasn't my main business. I just did little bits of it. So then I had to lockdown happened, and I couldn't coach all my clients. It was like, how the hell do I help all these? And also, how do I pay the fucking bills? Because ultimately now I wasn't getting paid. Look at I saved some up. I saved about 6-7 grand up, which is not an awful lot of money, but some it is. And
keep you going though, I suppose.
Well, what happened was I actually applied for some driving jobs through lockdown to try and obviously earn some money, because nothing was coming in. Because all my clients at the time, I give them, because we thought we were going back out of lockdown,
It was 3 weeks initially, wasn't it?
It was initially. So I said, guys, I'll just coach you for free. We jumped on 2-3 days a week, like online coaching, some videos. So we got all the team together, we did some workouts. And then 3 weeks later, we were still in lockdown. 6 weeks later, and I was like, guys, for this service that I'm now doing, I am going to have to charge you. So whatever the price that was, I can't even remember what it was, 100 quid a month maybe. So then all of a sudden I had a little bit of money coming back, so it kept me a bit safer. But I was looking for driving jobs at the time. So I was nearly going to sack it all off and go driving. And then I came across, and I've been watching this guy called Phil Graham for quite some time. Don't know if you know him.
Not sure.
A fitness business mentor, incredible guy. And I literally jumped on a call with him, humming and hawing back and forth for ages. And I invested every penny I had, which was supposed to be saving for a house, which was $7,000 that I had. And I turned it over to him for a 90-day mentorship.
That's a big risk.
Oh man, I didn't sleep for a week.
Oh, I can imagine. 7K in one go.
Oh, in one go. In one go. And then after that, you were tied in for 12 months. So after that was a monthly recurring. So this is me not having a laptop, not being able to use a computer, and then trying to become an online coach with his help. And like I say, I'm not the brightest guy. I'm not stupid, but things just take me a bit longer.
Yeah.
So,
what made you pick him then, and what made you trust him?
I've been following for years. He was a bodybuilder, like he's diabetic. He's just a clever guy.
Just relate to him, do you reckon?
I suppose because he was a bodybuilder at the time and I was, but I just got an energy from him and what he was promising. I was like, looking at his results, been following for ages. I was like, in fact, I did a mastermind of his in London like a year before. I went down to London, paid for that, so I'd already met him, got the buzz of it, and that kind of lockdown forced my hand to do it. And I tell you what, it's the best thing I ever did because I was able to. I went and bought a laptop. I sat in the kitchen and literally worked 16-hour days every day, not 4 days, 5 days a week, 7 days a week. Learned how to use a laptop, learned how to do everything that I was being taught, implement, build this niche avatar and all these bits and pieces that I was having to do and create a better business, be a better coach online and market and sell, unfortunately, which is totally new skills to me at the time because I was just giving people service. But as a result, with learning all this and putting everything into it, I was able to turn around that money that I paid him and get it back in 4 weeks.
That's fucking sick, isn't it?
It was the best investment ever. From that, then we worked through on the self-development I created myself was unbelievable. And obviously I transferred that to clients. Yeah. Because I was now around people who were on a completely different level to what anything I'd been around. So again, you are who you hang around with. So if you look at your WhatsApp and you look at the 4 top people you speak to, you can tell them off that what you're going to be like personally and what your characteristics are and what your ambitions are. So for me, it was a case of I had to then pay to be around these guys to basically just get the level of energy, the drive, the focus from them, and exactly what it did. Honestly, the best thing I've ever done. And like I said, that's what kind of worked through that for a lot.
Well, yeah. If anyone said to someone, if you can give you say $7,000 and you're going to get back in 4 weeks and you're going to get all this knowledge,
they never said, they don't tell you that.
No, but
if you pay that much money, anything he told me to do, I did it tenfold.
Yeah, exactly.
So there was no option because if it didn't work, I was fucked. I was broke. So we made it work. And again, like I say, as a result, that then taught me that the implementation, it wasn't the knowledge, it was the implementation on as soon as you have that knowledge, implement, take action, not waiting around or trying to consume too much. Bite-sized chunks, implement. Bite-sized chunks, implement. Action is fucking key. Yeah.
And like you say, it's taking the little steps, isn't it? Yeah. And then just, if you're trying to do everything at once, then it's never going to work because it's too, like we were speaking before, if you try and do everything at once,
you're overwhelmed.
You think, oh, where do I start? I'm not going to do it.
It's good to have all that, but then you just need to focus on what do I need to do today?
Yeah.
And then it was a really stressful time because I was working in the kitchen and everyone was at home. So I've got my girlfriend and their little and Poppy, and obviously working in the kitchen with the house full, it was a stressful time.
I can imagine, yeah.
I can tell you that.
How did you find lockdown then? Because I bet it was weird from say going from the gym to home to building an online
Initially,
business.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
I thought my life was over. If I'm completely honest, I couldn't train. I couldn't coach. I couldn't do what I was progressively building an incredible business at doing and like portfolio. And it was a bad time to start with for the first 2 to 3 weeks, and literally until I invested in my mentor, and then I had something to work towards. And then from there, if I'm completely honest, when we came out of lockdown, I kind of really missed it. I still do a little bit this day.
Yeah, I do a little bit as well.
The routine that I created, and then obviously was present more often at home because we had more time.
Yeah,
we cooked on weekends together. I was going out for my morning routine. Was sick at the time.
Yeah. What was your morning routine then?
Wake up at 6, walk dog, water, supplements, walk the dog, come back, read at least 10 pages of a book, create some content, and then jump into work. And just for me, that quiet time when everyone was in bed for like an hour, 2 hours, and obviously going out and getting that exercise was just set me up for the day. Unfortunately, I'm coaching at 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 days a week, so that routine's no longer viable.
Yeah.
So that's probably the most thing I miss. And then, like I say, it was just a little bit easy going.
Yeah, I felt more connected with people in lockdown though, because like you say, you're busy now, isn't it? And then you don't maybe spend as much time either ringing people or messaging people or
there's just too much going on now.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. And in lockdown, even though people said they maybe felt a bit removed from everyone, you'd be messaging people all day or like FaceTiming, or it was like Clubhouse, that was an online podcast.
Yeah.
And there was another one that was like video and stuff.
I'm not gonna lie, I just work. But I was more present at home.
But yeah, it's a funny one. I feel like a lot of people came out the other side better than they went in.
I think a lot of people, well, it went two ways, didn't it? You either had some people who did and some people who were complete opposite.
It's what you make of it though, isn't it? Like you say.
It is what you make of it, but how do you make something of it when your mindset's in a bad place? Because you can't get yourself out of it. As much as you know you should and you want to. I was lucky to have that awareness, because I was the same when I first went into it, and I had that awareness, like, if I don't do something, I am going to be putting myself in worse and worse position. But unfortunately, some people get consumed by it and aren't able to take that action.
Yeah, I agree.
Again, why we created something like this is to help them.
Yeah, and then, so how did the online business then go into this?
For me, I work with my hands. Since the day I fucking started my first job.
Yeah.
Obviously, I went up till 25 without owning a computer. Never used it. Like, I thought I would never have to. Ever. I hated them. I hated them. To be fair, I'm not a massive fan still.
I was going to say, you probably still hate it more now. I hate that thing.
Yeah. But as a result, I was able to create a credible business. Change. So when you're coaching on a one-to-one basis, you can only help that person in 1 hour, especially if you're doing 60, 70 hours a week. Whereas online helped me create a platform to help educate them around the lifestyle, around the mindset, and around nutrition. So, and if I'm honest, those 3 factors are the most important part. So we got better results in lockdown than I do with one-to-one clients, or some of them.
It's in group coaching kind of thing.
No, one-to-one at the time.
All right, yeah.
Just because how we were able to help them. So then what I wanted to do is, like, we came out of lockdown and I went back to do one-to-one, because I could have stayed online coaching, to be honest, because I was earning great money, transforming people's lives. But I didn't want to be sat behind the computer. I was actually getting depressed, because I was spending all the time behind the computer and I had no interaction with people other than on a message or a video. So I was like, I need to get back into one-to-one. But I said, I'll just do 15 hours a week. Yeah. So I started off doing that, which was great. And then all my clients started trying to build back up again. And I was like, I had to limit it to that. And then it was coming to a problem. Like, I've got people who want to work with me and I'm turning them down. Yeah. And then it kind of came into the personal training. I was like, how can I make, because I invested in myself, so online coaching was quite expensive, and one-to-one, because I invested in myself and I didn't need, like, I was most expensive in our area, not because I was overcharging, because I'm the best at what I do, and I know what my worth is. But as a result, there was a lot of people I could no longer work with. So I was like, how can we make this a problem here? And how can we make personal training affordable? But also, how can I make personal training long term? So personal training, if you do one-to-one and you pay 25, 30, 40 pounds an hour, in reality, you're only doing it for a block of 10 or 12 weeks tops. And the problem is, I used to have clients who I used to see every single year getting ready for a holiday, but always in a worse position. So they never stuck to it and never learned. It never became a lifestyle. It was a quick fix. So my idea was, like, how can I fix this quick fix mentality and create a lifestyle? So it's like, I need to get these people being able to do 3 sessions of personal training a week, but it's been affordable so they can do it forever. Yeah. And then giving them that level of service with all the back end support that I've already built. So then there's no reason why they can fail. And then how do I do that? I haven't got a place to do it. There's no one in Carlisle I could do it. I did have a little go in DW before lockdown, but it was a nightmare. I couldn't do it at the training facility I was a PT at, because it wasn't big enough. And it was a commercial gym. I was like, right, you know what? I need to open a facility to be able to do this. Yeah. And then that's how the idea kind of came around, and then from there I was looking at, I think, was it January, a year and a half ago, January last year, year before,
2020,
January 2020, looking at a few premises, found this in March, started working straight away, got to work, ordered all the kit, got some finance for it, and some funds available. Obviously I'd done incredibly well in lockdown, had nowhere to spend it, so I invested not pretty much every single penny, and then on top of that another couple $100,000 to get to where we're at today. And then, like I say, to make personal training affordable. So the space we've created now is absolutely incredible, and we're only just getting started.
Yeah, it obviously must have been a big jump then. How was the process then of, say, getting the warehouse and then kitting it all out? Was it what you expected, or was it different? Or
you just kind of take it, you just go with an idea, don't you?
Yeah.
So the idea was like facility, right? Then what would we need in that facility? And then the idea is like we've got all this where we sat out now. We've got all the gym equipment that you could ever need. So I've been coaching and training, coaching for a few years then, training since I was 17, and I've trained all around the country. So I knew what I wanted. I've done a bit of CrossFit. I've obviously done the bodybuilding, the strength side, the powerlifting, and it was like I know what I wanted to create because I know the good parts of CrossFit. I know the good parts of a commercial gym. Not that there's many, to be honest. But then what I did is I combined what I thought was going to be the best.
Yeah.
And that's why what we've got, like I said, we've got the gym area, we've got the strength area, conditioning area, and we just kind of cater for absolutely everything. It doesn't, the way we coach, it doesn't matter. Our athletes in here can train with complete new beginners who've never trained before in the same group session, because it doesn't matter where you're at and where you start, and that effort is your only currency. So it only matters about the amount of effort you put in. So I could train with somebody who's never trained before, and we could train on the same barbell, obviously a bit more weight going on and off, but all that would matter was you train your hardest. That is it. Yeah. The program, how we've built it, again, I'm a strength and conditioning coach, so again, we tailored to make people as strong as possible, but as fit as possible. So for me, for an example, my goal is to deadlift 400 kilos, but
it's a lot of weight.
It's a lot of weight. But like, we've got one of our oldest clients, Alison, like her goal is just to be able to take her grandkids up the stairs when she's older. But to be able to do that, she needs to be strong. Yeah. Being strong fights off old age. Yeah. So like my grandma, obviously she's not listening to this, but she sat in a chair in a home where she's at, and because she doesn't move an awful lot, she's just deteriorating. Yeah. Whereas if we can build strong bodies, I want to be able to bounce out of my chair when I'm 85-year-old, not having to be pulled out by a hoist. Yeah. So our ethos, it doesn't matter. Again, we want to be looking at this long term, not just short term for a fucking holiday. Yeah. This is what it needs to be, and then as a result, you can enjoy your lifestyle as well. I like drinking, I like going out for food, I like going on holiday, but it's about having that life, fitting it in your lifestyle, and maybe looking at how you can create that powerful lifestyle. I
think that's a great way to look at it as well. I was literally saying to my mates earlier, like now I just want to be like comfortable to take my top off, like, and wear swim shorts whenever in the year, you know what I mean? Yeah. If I wanted to go on holiday, say like next week or whatever, not having to, like you say, be like, oh, I'm going to Ibiza in 3 months. Yeah. Got to get shredded. I'm fat now. But yeah, it's all about consistency, isn't it? I always say it, and anything is being consistently good at every single thing. You don't have to be amazing one day and then shit the next day, because then you're going to get nowhere. But if you're 7, 8 out of 10 every single day, you build that momentum.
It is, yeah. It is about being consistent, but again, you've got to have that foresight in what you're doing it for. The awareness of it.
Yeah, the end goal.
That's what we do. It's what we teach here. People come in for a short-term fix, and we show them what's possible being around the right environment.
Like you say about surrounding yourself, 5 people you surround yourself with, that's who you're with, isn't it?
We give them a different level of thinking.
Yeah, and I think it is hard for some people to remove themselves from maybe old friendships that aren't either giving them what they used to be, or just you being on a different path. Like say with me, when I stopped drinking, going back to it, is you do kind of remove yourself from the situation, don't you? And it
no longer serves you a purpose.
Yeah, and you kind of you're not as involved, and maybe you don't have the same kind of crack, but then you realise who your true friends are, and you'll do stuff for them, won't you? Because if, say, I used to do events, that was my first business, nightclub events and stuff, And I used to have loads of friends, you know what I mean? Because you're going out all the time, throwing events, they'd come down and that kind of thing. And then when you say stop doing the events, you stop drinking, and then you don't really spend time with them anymore because that's all they cared about.
Well, it's because you just don't have a connection anymore.
Yeah, because you're not to relate to.
People change, and don't mean you're changing for the worst. To them, you might have, because you're no longer doing what they're doing.
Yeah, you're not cool.
Yeah, you have a lot of clients who go through that progression of self-improvement within themselves, and then find those people that they'll hang around with are pulling them in the wrong direction, just like you just said. I pulled myself away from an old friendship group that I had. They're still friends, and still got a lot of love and respect for them, but I just removed myself from those situations, and as a result I was very lonely for a long time as a result. But then I created this new identity of who I wanted to become and who I was becoming.
Yeah.
And then again, this is why I've created this facility. Like, this is for me, if I'm honest, and this is who I've got around here are my people.
Yeah. Did you always want to have your own gym?
If I'm honest, I never thought it was a possibility. I thought,
had you wanted it though?
It was mentioned. I'd love to own a gym.
Yeah.
But
never thought about it.
Never even thought it would ever happen. Ever.
Yeah. Then when did you think you could make it happen then? Was it in lockdown when you say built up a bit of a online business and you thought, oh, maybe I've got the capabilities?
A little bit of obviously funds to be able to potentially open something, not knowing what the cost was actually going to be.
Is it more expensive than you thought?
Way more expensive, and it's still it's never ending now. But because we're always looking to improve.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. If the funds hadn't been if I hadn't done so well in lockdown and saved my money and reinvested it into this, it wouldn't have been possible. And I've got a business partner as well who's helped me take it off the ground. So without his support and encouragement, I think you should know Michael Seggy.
Yeah.
Without his support and obviously myself, it wouldn't have been possible. So I think, just been lucky to get that. But but here is just fucking hard work, nothing other than that.
When you say lucky, you still need to put yourself in them situations, though, don't you? You need to still be there to get that kind of luck. When people say, "Oh, you're so lucky," you're not, because you've done all them things, haven't you, in the background to get in that position in the first place.
I suppose the lucky comes from it because again, it's not luck. Nothing happens just out of luck.
No.
Well, I suppose you could say different. You win £1 million on a scratch card.
But you needed to buy it in the first place to get. But yeah, so what was the feeling like then when you opened the first day? Surreal or overwhelming or?
No, it wasn't. No, because I've got the confidence and I'm 5 years ahead in my head. So it was great, but it wasn't where it wants to be. It's not, is it now? It's great, but it's not where it's going to be.
Would you say that mindset's good or bad?
Both.
Yeah.
Bad because you sometimes, but I'm aware of it. But bad because you're never enjoying the moment as much. Although I do, but I can't sit still. So it's always looking for more. It doesn't mean more is always better, because sometimes it really isn't. But I have the awareness. Like I was just the other week after a Saturday session, I was just getting a shower, and then I was walking around. I did have clothes on, by the way, but just looking around.
Got a clip over now.
Like, grateful of like the session was bouncing. All our clients are winning. Like we've got the most growth we've ever had in the worst time it's ever been, potentially. And it's just having that gratitude and sitting back and thinking. I was like just walking around thinking, "Fucking hell, this is my place." Like, wow. And then we've got incredible coaches now working with us with the same ethos as me. We're getting the right clientele coming in who just want to be better versions of themselves, who are not making excuses, turning up and putting the work in. And it was just, again, I do this probably monthly, to be fair, just to keep me grounded, have gratitude to keep you grounded. But then you've got to be looking at, like, imagine trying to climb up a mountain, and you climb up the mountain, you get to the top of it, but then you realise there's another fucking mountain to climb. That's just life. But looking down, instead of going, fuck, I've got all that to go and be miserable, and chasing up to get to the top again, and not enjoying the journey. Whereas getting to that little peak, looking down and thinking, fucking hell, look at what I've just achieved. And enjoy that journey and then progress again. Because if for me, if I'm not moving forward, I get complacent. And then when I get complacent, I get bored. And if I get bored, bad habits go out. I've got eating and drinking more. If I'm drinking more, I'm not turning up my best. And as a result, business will suffer. Clients will suffer. I'll suffer. So for me, that progression has to be, it's sense of achievement and progression, it has to be there. Yeah,
otherwise it's a vicious cycle, like you say. I sometimes, like, I'm like you, I'll always be like, oh, what's the next thing? But then sometimes I will think, oh, where was I a year ago? And you think, oh, to be fair, I've made quite a bit of progress. So you're like, oh, that's decent.
But only because you had that mindset to go forward.
Yeah, exactly.
So you've got to be always looking at moving forward, unless you're in a credible position. But the problem is most people think they're happy. So people come to me at the gym and they're like, I'm happy where I am. I don't want to do any more work. I'm happy. I just want to stay as I am. But I'm like, well, the thing is that you don't even know what that is, what is possible. I do, because I know how to get you there. Yeah, it takes a little bit more work, but then where you could be with that little bit of extra work is an even more powerful lifestyle than you've already got.
Yeah.
I mean, look where we've taken you from here to there. Imagine where we could do again with another 6 months.
Yeah.
And that isn't trying to keep somebody on for another 6 months. Like, at the end of the day, if the client leaves, the client takes the place. For me, I'm a coach. I want to help coach them to become the best versions of themselves, and not let them believe their own bullshit and
in the head.
Yeah, and set themselves to self-limiting beliefs, almost like I did with opening this.
Yeah. This is a tough question I think I'm going to ask. Do you think anyone can ever be happy?
It depends on the person. I suppose. What's happiness?
Because I think
that changes.
Yeah, I think nobody can ever be happy. They're just content.
Is that not happy?
I don't know.
What's happiness?
That's what I mean. I think, like, you're always chasing that happiness, aren't you? But as long as you're...
But you'll know yourself. You go through moments of... It's like riding a wave. Like, it's like fat loss. It's up and down all the time. It's like you'll be happy one day, mediocre the next, and really shit the next day. So, unfortunately, we're not robots, and it's not... Well, there is a success to it. It's like baking a cake. Success leaves clues. You know, if you're making a recipe for something, you're baking a cake. Chocolate cake, it would be for me.
Of course. Any kind of chocolate cake.
But you know how to make that perfect cake. So, and the things what we do in our life, and this is what I teach. If you can go to bed at a decent time, if you focus on that first, getting up in the morning routine, training, moving your body, eating well, this success will leave a clue. That's your recipe for happiness. But most people know this, or don't maybe know it to that level, but don't make the same recipe. So then they're not truly happy. So they'll hit a wave of the peak and be happy, but then put a wrong ingredient in, alcohol potentially, or
something else,
whatever that might be detrimental to that person. Like for me, it is alcohol, and then that recipe's changed, and that fucking cake comes out like shit. And then they're not happy. Does that make sense? Yeah,
that makes sense. And I think as well, like, slightly business related, but say if you like the upward trajectory, don't you? You say, like, say for me, if I don't have like a better month to the last month, I'm like, oh fucking hell, I'm shit. Business is failing. It's all over.
I used to do the same, mate. We used to get taught to chase. Well, we could have been well, but you used to get taught to chase projections for months as a business, as you do as businesses. But I became completely unfulfilled in that and very, very volatile. Because ups and downs, and again, you then don't enjoy the journey because you're chasing something. Whereas it took me a fucking long time to realise that, and as soon as I realised that I'm focused on fulfilment and what makes me happy and what makes the business actually move forward. Yes, it might be sales, but that fulfilment within those clients, as a result, created more sales. So as a result, focusing not on one thing, on the most important thing, really helped eliminate that volatility and enjoy the process, and then have the purpose, find what my purpose and passion was, and that's what that was. Couldn't give a fuck what the income was. As a result, I just wanted these clients to be successful, and when they were successful, the income follows.
That's kind of like the vehicle, isn't it?
Impact over income.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you get income with it anyway. And if I'm honest, how much money do you need?
You don't really need that much, do you, to be happy?
If you have no purpose or passion. So for me, if someone was giving me 10 million quid right now to sell up this and go and leave, I'd say no.
Because you have no purpose, then you wake up tomorrow and be like, what do I do?
We can go and open some more, but this is my babe. Do you know what I mean?
People don't get that though, it's a baby.
Do you know what I mean? And I get up every day. Yes, it's hard work. I work fucking 5 in the morning. I'll get up at about 5:30.
You can't have your best day, your best week, your best month every day, week, month, can you?
You've got to enjoy the process. So we have ups and downs all the time.
Like everyone. Everyone always just shouts about the wins, though, don't they? Like, oh, I'm smashing it. Like, you've definitely had a bad day or a bad week somewhere.
People don't see what you do in the background. Like, I'm starting at 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't finish till 9.
They probably don't see you on your laptop and that, do they? And kind of thing when nobody's here.
You just eat for an hour. 2 hours a day. Nah.
But that's the stuff that makes it move, though, isn't it? Like the cogs turn, the behind the scenes stuff. So what would you say then the next steps are for this spot, VC Fitness?
Just keep growing the facility. So for me, it's about impact. So to create impact, I want to now obviously reach more people because we are new to Carlisle and I'm not from Carlisle, so people don't even know we're here, even though we've been here a year. So a
lot of people say that though. The main thing's brand awareness, isn't it?
Brand awareness.
TikTok.
Do you know anyone who does TikTok?
Nah.
So we've got, obviously I'm from Penrith, so I've got awareness and brand awareness in Penrith. It's building slowly, so it's just to build that brand awareness locally and worldwide. Obviously, we've got online coaching business. We've got one-to-one and group personal training.
You're still doing the online stuff alongside, yeah?
Yeah, just obviously my main focus is in here.
Yeah.
So we've got a small group of clients compared to what it was in lockdown. But again, the market's changed and my direction has changed slightly. So the goal is just to build this place up to be an absolute machine that it already is. Just we need other people to be able to see it and know we're here and come and try us out. If they try it out, they love it.
Yeah.
And the goal is to franchise it and open another one in Penrith.
Oh, sick.
So
that's exciting.
After 5 years, that's the goal. I'm open one in Penrith. And again, the reason for it being is to make personal training affordable.
Yeah.
There's no dick swinging competition. It's just what we have got and created can help people reach their fullest potential and live life limitlessly. And all I want to do is create a massive community of people who, why do you look so happy? You look in amazing shape. Oh yeah, I train at BC Fitness. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, cool. So, right, next stage is everyone's favourite part, the relationship advice. How good are you at relationships and stuff?
If my missus is listening, she'll tell them, what you're asking these questions for.
Well, believe it or not, I've recently got in a relationship. I was 4 years single. Yeah. I've been in a relationship for 3 or 4 weeks now.
So best relationship advice is stay single.
I could probably say that already, to be fair.
Nah, I'm joking. It's good. Best relationship advice is...
No, wait, I've got questions. Basically, the way it works is I've got 3 messages that people have messaged in. And so I'll either say it's a boy or a girl. We'll anonymously name them. And so, like, say if it's John Smith, whoever, and then I'll ask the question, and then you give them the advice.
Yep.
It's not that deep, you know what I mean? People, I don't know why people message it anyway. So this is a girl. What are we calling her?
I call it Ashley.
Right, Ashley.
My missus' name.
So your missus messaged in, so there's some trouble in paradise. I don't think this is actually her. So Ashley's been together with a boyfriend for 3 months. Should she move in with him? Yes or no, do you reckon?
Not in 3 months, no.
Not in 3 months?
Absolutely fucking not.
Why not?
Because you don't even know the person.
Yeah.
You're talking, for me personally, you need to know somebody. You're just jumping in too soon because you're in that honeymoon phase. And it's a good feeling, but you don't know that person
until you live with them.
The bad traits. And like, if I'm honest, I didn't know, and we've been living with my miss, but I've been living with her by this time 3 years, and I still was just getting to know. That fucking irritates me. That you know, 3 months, 3 years in, and then just learning new things about people because you're spending all that time with them.
Yeah.
Whereas 3 months, fucking
putting things like in the wrong place and doing that.
I do that on purpose.
Ashley
comes in the door, don't put your keys there.
But I suppose a relationship, like I've been out of the game for 4 years, it's who you can put up with, isn't it? Who you can bear with, and just like, oh yeah, I deal with your shit.
Who you can bear with, and this is a journey that I've been on because the amount of self-development I've gone through is outstanding, and I know that myself, and people around me do. Yeah. And as a result, I was a different person when I first got with my girlfriend, but we've grown together. You have to choose the person you want to grow together with, not put up with. Yeah. Grow together, because if we're going in 2 opposite directions, it's a complete waste of time and you hate each other. But for us to grow together, she has to be seeing what I'm trying to achieve and my vision, and I need to know hers. And we need to be able to go in the right direction together. Yeah. Because even if you like going 1% apart every year, over time, you're going to be going on the completely different path. You'll ignore it, and then you're 10 years down the line.
You hate each other with kids and all that kind of stuff,
And you've got kids together.
Yeah. Like, a mortgage and all that kind of stuff.
Best bit of advice, I can't remember, I got it from one of my clients, and it was like, decide who you're going to marry, to marry or be with, if you want to have kids with them. Yeah. If you don't want to have kids with them, don't be with them. Yeah. And obviously you don't know that in 3 fucking months. Or if you do, you want shot. You have no idea really.
Because for me, say I was single for 4 years, and then I never really wanted anyone to say, it didn't matter if they're doing business or whatever, but I just wanted someone who knew what they wanted. Like if it was say like, oh, I want to go traveling, or I want to do this in my business, or I want to do that kind of thing. So that was one of the things that, because a lot of people these days, I feel like, will just, well, for me, I didn't want somebody who just like bob along and just go with the flow. I kind of just wanted someone who.
But that's why. Until you you've got an early, like I'm a different person, 32-year-old than I was as a 24-year-old or 25-year-old. And I've grown, and my vision and like what I find potentially attractive or what I would be looking for, it changes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
As you grow. So that person needs to be growing with you, and hopefully maybe they, as long as they want to, do you know what I mean? You don't want to force something on somebody they don't want, but and then if not, you know you're not going in the right direction, so you know that person isn't for you.
Yeah. I think as well, like I'm no relationship person, but say like, I think it's important for them to have their own life, you to have your own life, and you have your own life together as well.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, don't rely on them on happiness.
Yeah, 100%. You've got to look. I'm a very self-sufficient person. I rely on nobody apart from my missus to cook my tea.
That's the worst way to do it, isn't it? I need to get that sorted ASAP.
That washing machine fairy. My fucking boxes just end up in my drawer.
That's what I need. I need that. Right, so Ashley, there we go. So another one, second one. So this is a boy, what are we calling him? Tony's messaged in. He said he split up with his girlfriend after 3 years. He's been single for 2 months now. He's been speaking to another girl and seems to like her. Should he jump into another relationship?
Go for it.
Yeah, right. Tony, just go for it.
Relationship, don't be moving in with her just yet.
I think it's difficult, isn't it? Like,
not for me, it's about having fun and making. It's about making connections. If you're interested, you're connecting to somebody. Like you don't, and this is probably one of the mistakes I used to make when I was younger. If I was interested in someone, it was over-invested too early on.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're just going for a date, like us now connecting and talking, just think of it as a job interview. Go and talk to them. That's what it is, isn't it?
Go for a walk, dog walk, coffee.
Go for some food. That person you're going on a date with might not like any of the foods that you like. You might love meat and she's a fucking vegetarian. Yeah. Like, straight away it ain't working.
My girlfriend's a gluten-free and it's a fucking nightmare.
Do you know? But again, that's for her. That's unfortunate. That's not a choice. But it is difficult. I've had a client before, quite lots of clients who've got gluten-free, but then we've gone out for a meal with them, and like I'm not looking, and I should know this, and then I'm like, oh, why do you get this? It's Ben, it's gluten-free. Why do you get this? It's gluten-free.
I didn't realise how much stuff had glutens in. Yeah,
it's crazy. I do feel for them, honestly, massive. No fortune not to have that problem.
But then, so basically, that's the other thing I was going to say. Some people just relationship hop, don't they? They don't have enough time on their own to realise who they are as a person.
Yeah, I know many people like that, people in my family as well, who feel the need to have somebody, to have a fulfillment. Yeah. They feel lonely without it. Whereas you should challenge that loneliness, or like any challenge, you should own it, be in it, and then own it not own you. Because at the moment, if you're not happy by yourself. So then, if you're not happy by yourself, you've got to love yourself for somebody to love you. But if you can't love yourself, you're not happy by yourself. So then, in reality, it's a facade that you're creating. Yeah,
no, I completely agree to that. I'd say pretty much a similar thing.
And then when you know by yourself, you know what you actually want.
Yeah, and you know what makes you happy.
Because when you are going with somebody new, you almost put up with more shit than you would, and you do more things than what they want to do, which is great. But ultimately, are you being true to yourself and then being true to those?
Yeah, because I'm finding it hard to readjust. Because I'm used to just spending all my time on my own, doing my own thing, doing my own work and that kind of thing. Then allocating time to her, it's just like, fucking hell, where am I getting this time from? Or what's going to give and that kind of thing. And it's just finding that routine of how to accommodate everyone and keep myself happy and them happy and that kind of thing.
I suppose routine, if you want to spend time with somebody though,
you make time, don't you?
Yeah, like I've got plenty of stuff with work, but I make time every day or most days to train for 1-2 hours a day. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Or on a weekend, not work, on a Saturday or Sunday to spend time with my missus.
So I don't realise how much I'd say like work outside typical work hours and at the weekends, and now I'm doing that, I'm like, fucking hell. Why am I doing this work?
But then it's good though, because it'll give you the balance that you maybe didn't have.
Yeah, and then hopefully work a bit smarter.
Yeah, exactly. Work smart, not hard.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last one, so we're scraping the barrel of this question. So this is a boy, what we call him?
Steve.
Last one. So Steve's message in. So he said he's been kind of casual with a girl on and off for about a year. He's not sure if and how he should make it serious with her. So not much detail, but do you reckon if you've been on and off kind of a bit of a fling, you should make it serious with someone or not? Do you kind of know? Do you kind of not?
If it's on and off, it's not serious, is it?
No.
It kind of answers his own question.
I think just play it off really, shouldn't they? It's one of them, like, you kind of...
Why is it on and off though? Is it because no one's committed and that somebody's waiting for the other person to You go out with me.
Yeah.
You're waiting for that.
You kind of know, like, in my opinion, if you know, you know, kind of, if you want to be with them, or you kind of have that vibe rather than just like messing about.
If it's on and off, depends what circumstance it is. It's quite a hard question to answer.
Need more info, Steve. Give more info. I'll have to do a follow-up. So that's it for the relationship advice questions. So have you enjoyed the podcast?
Yeah, mate, it's been good.
It's been good. Is there anything you want to plug, tell anyone to follow, anything for the camera, the listeners?
Yeah, guys, so obviously I'm Ben Crawshaw. I am the owner and director of BC Fitness HQ. So we are a personal training facility. We do small group coaching, online coach. So if any of you guys in the local area of Carlisle and want to come and check out the place and they want to go from limited in their lifestyle, their nutrition, their environment, and go from limited to limitless, we can teach you how to create a powerful lifestyle and reach your true potential. So if that sounds like something you want to get involved in, drop me a message. We also have online coaching as well. So we've got clients all over the world, which is an incredible opportunity for you to train anywhere in your current gym that you want to do and you're just struggling with a bit of training. Drop us a message. We've got handles on Instagram, which is my personal one is Ben Crawshaw, or Instagram for the business and it's just BC Fitness HQ.
Cool. And then if anyone maybe is like sitting on the fence or maybe feeling a bit shit or a bit anxious about the way they feel, what kind of like advice would you give to them if they're maybe thinking about taking the leap to online or coming down or that kind of thing?
I think you wouldn't even start with either or. If you're on the fence and you're feeling like that, it's like, right, why are you feeling like that? So we teach 2 circles of control. So in control, out of control. And what's in control, what's out of control, and then putting the things that are not in control, which is usually what makes you anxious. You need to put those to bed because you're just worried about something that you can't control. Focus on what you can control. Then when what you can control, so again, 9 times out of 10, they're not focusing on the food, the sleep, movement. If you focus on those 3 things, all of a sudden that anxiety and of the fence of being wanting to improve the self will disappear, and then that journey will start moving forward.
Sweet. Right. So everyone, thank you very much for watching on YouTube if you are, and then listening on Spotify and Apple. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, please. Like the video, comment what your favourite part is. If you've got any questions for Ben. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, make sure to follow and leave a 5-star review, and we'll see you next time. Bye, 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 bye.